streaming on. Let me check. Be sure to also send the streaming request to all of the platforms over here. Perfect, I see us. Okay, well, I am going to play our countdown video and also going to send our very first crypto box to the audience. This is just going to be perfect. Let's go.
Do you want to break background, Jennifer? I have to.
I think it's a bit last minute at this point. I can't remember how you add it.
Yeah, that's super. Let's keep this very casual.
GM, everyone. Yeah, over here, I see that. Let me check. Yeah, thank you for waiting, everyone. I see that. Whoa, we already have over 300 live views. Wow. Well, thank you for waiting once again. Yeah, because for us, we encounter some some minor, tech issues. So it took us a while to adjust it and finally connected over here on our panel side. And being said that, I'm going to quickly drop our very first crypto box while we would love to invite our speakers to introduce themselves over here. Let's do the lady first. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's so rare that I get to be a star of the show. So yeah, my name is Jen. I am in charge of AI at KIP. So I do the nerdy stuff, essentially. I've been in AI since before it was called AI, when it was just machine learning, and doing a lot of analyzing political data and so on. So I did a PhD in that, and then saw little fun or profit in becoming a professor and started a business instead. And this is how I ended up with KIP.
Wow. Respect. Definitely show respect because, well, this is definitely, the first time like I met a pioneer in AI space and also female. That is definitely unusual for me. And well, and you didn't went to the traditional route, right, to be a professor, but you decide to start your business over here with our KIP protocol. So wow. Great. I love this kind of opening because that would attract our audience to wanted to learn more about the project. Thank you so much, Jen. And next, we would like to invite Julian to also introduce yourself and what makes you also join KIP protocol. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting us. And as usual, Jen is very modest, despite her very powerful intro. That's only half the story. But a quick note about myself. So I've been an internet fart for a long time, meaning that I've been an internet startup entrepreneur founder since 1998. So 98 was the year of my first startup. Between 98 and 2016, I basically founded businesses throughout a few waves of tech. I sold a few of them. And by 2016, I had sold most of my businesses, including a pretty high-profile one, to the largest media company, government-linked media company in Asia. After that, I was in crypto. I started getting into crypto. I was investing as a VC and a PE investor into crypto, robotics, and AI. And as Jenna mentioned in the early days, so I was looking to get into machine learning and artificial intelligence. And there was a company founded by a very singular individual called Dr. Jennifer Dodson, who was actually doing AI work very early on, serving very large organizations and solving very, very complex problems. So I first became an investor there. And in the course of serving a client of that company, we discovered a problem that essentially evolved into what you see today as KIP.
Wow, and look at this model over here. Do you mind to both of you to start to introduce the project from explaining what is this about KIP unlocks digital ownership and monetization in AI? Wow.
100% that it had the intended effect. So anyway, guys, this is actually our website. So you can see this at kip.pro.
Mhm.
But the first thing to understand about what KIP is trying to do is that we first need to have a little bit of understanding about how do you put together an AI product. Essentially, you need kind of three parts. You need the data. Okay, everyone knows data is the lifeblood of AI.
Mhm.
You need a model. The model is the brains of the operation. All the spotlight has actually been on the model so far. GPT-3, GPT-4, Llama, Grok, all of these are models. Okay, they're very large. They're large language models, right? So the models provide the inference necessary for AI operations. But there is also another class of people, okay, that are equally important, and these are the applications. So the applications, you think about it, is the easiest example is a chatbot. A chatbot is an example of AI application, but there are many forms of AI application. It doesn't just have to chat with you. It can be just providing you with an answer, reading, and analysis. So AI applications are important because AI applications are how ordinary users access AI. Because very few of us, maybe on this call, Jennifer will be one of the few people who can access the model directly. But most of us, we need an AI application to give instructions to the model
Mhm.
in order to access AI, right? So to this diagram that I was showing just now, okay?
Mhm.
So the first thing to know about a typical how these three pieces work together to make an AI product is that to realize that actually these three are not three just technical components. They are actually three separate industries of people.
Mhm.
Why are they separate industries? Because the people who are very good at training models are often not the same people who are very good at making consumer facing or customer facing applications. Okay? The skill sets are totally different. The people who know how to train models tend to be extremely technical and deep within AI, professors, academics, researchers.
Mhm.
The people who are very good at making apps tend to be very good product people, okay,
Mhm.
who are very good marketers. So in a vibrant industry, basically the models will be able to find customers in applications. The customers of the models are really the applications.
Mhm.
And let's not forget the data. So the data piece is interesting because everyone, I think, has an idea how you use data in AI, which is you use it to train. But when you use data to train a particular large language model, you expose the entire data set to the model. You have to, otherwise you can't use it to train, right? So this presents a problem when you don't want to expose that data set to that model.
Mhm.
So what you can then use is a framework called retrieval augmented generation. And what you see here is a very simple layout framework showing retrieval augmented generation. Okay, so how does it work in a normal pre-KIP situation, in the normal situation? You see an arrow coming in here, okay? You just treat this as a question. A user is asking a question of a chatbot. The chatbot throws the question over to the model. The model parses the question, and it determines which parts of it doesn't know, and it might need an external data set to do. Okay,
Mhm.
and it will retrieve the external, relevant chunks, only the relevant chunks of data from the external data set
Mhm.
to the model. It will package the answer, give it back to the chatbot. Chatbot packages the answer more time, delivers it back to the user. Okay, so this is the data interaction you see, and this is a very, very typical data interaction in which multiple parties actually work together to answer a single user query. But there's another thing that's going on here as well. If, let's say, the money, okay, was paid by a user to answer these questions, okay,
Mhm.
then the money needs to be split. Because again, if they were independent parties, you will need to split the money, right?
Mhm.
Because the guys who want models are not the same as the guys with the data, not the same guys who made the apps, but they can still work together in the normal thing
Mhm.
if you can split the money. So The problem now, okay, the bigger problem is that I don't know if everyone has noticed the increasing number of lawsuits against the big AI companies like OpenAI. The reason for that is because they, as the model player, okay, with very powerful apps, are trying to own all the data. They are trying to put all the data into their closed ecosystem, okay? Because if they control all three, if it was one company controlling all three, okay, it's very easy for them to. There's no problem with splitting money. You don't need to split money if all three are owned by one party. But if you don't want to be owned by one party, you have to solve the problem of splitting money. And this problem of splitting money has never been solved until KIP. Okay, so what this is one of the core problems that KIP is trying to solve. KIP tries to solve the problem of these guys being independent within Web3. Okay, a model owner can deploy their work onto Web3. Application, data, they can each deploy their AI assets onto Web3. KIP protocol handles the connection issues and the money splitting issues. So that is essentially what KIP protocol does. The goal of having a free flow of data revenues essentially is so that AI can continue to thrive and we don't have to get monopolized. Yeah. Moonlight.
Thank you so much. I was coughing, so I had to mute myself. And this is what KIP doing, right? And help solving the problem. And you also mentioned that lately there have been more and more lawsuits, right, to larger AI companies because of the data issues. How do you define KIP protocol? Are you also a company that managing a lot of data, or are there any other terms that you would define your company? Thank you.
Yes. I don't know which. Okay, this side. Web3 base layer for AI.
Oh no, I was going to go into the weeds on data protection.
I'll do that.
You go
first.
ahead. Yeah.
I'll do the easy to remember version. Jennifer, please go into the weeds later. But we call ourselves the Web3 base layer for AI, essentially because we are a solution meant for three categories of AI developers and AI value creators, meaning model owners, data owners, and application owners. When they want to deploy into Web3, they're going to need a set of tools that help them to rapidly do that and to do these things that you see on the screen. It is a base layer. It's a protocol that serves as a base layer for AI. So that's what we do. That's what we call ourselves, right? I like to also describe it as an economic framework, because imagine what you see here on the screen is basically a set of data rails and payment rails.
Right.
Okay. The data rails and payment rails don't exist currently for AI assets within Web3. So once we set it up, people, obviously it's an open framework, so people can know exactly what's going on. Okay, because the payment rails they have to solve three problems. Okay, the first is basically recording. You have to record the fact that these interactions are happening. Second, you have to account for it. That means how much money does each interaction result in, and third, you have to be able to settle it. So the protocol does a lot of those base level issues necessary for data and money to flow. Jen, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I was just going to say that sort of the big issue behind a lot of these lawsuits has been that the AI companies are just taking data for use without asking. And originally people felt, even expert researchers, they kind of thought that, well, the AI doesn't really memorize and repeat stuff exactly, so we're not really stealing the data, we're just kind of in the vicinity of the data, and our AI improves as a result. But since AI got really good, people have kind of started noticing that actually it does memorize a lot of stuff by heart. So a while back, someone did a paper saying trying this experiment where they type into the AI, "My social security number is," and then give it the first four numbers of their own social security, and it got it right. it's found it somewhere within the training data, and because it's a unique string, it can spit it out verbatim. So that is something that the companies themselves, to be fair, didn't anticipate, but now it exists. What we urgently need is a way to protect our data and just have an AI system wherein you can say, okay, I found that these guys are using my data and I want to put in a complaint, or I want to, flag that up. And within the KIP system, you are allowed to do that. So if, you can put your own data online if you want, and if you have a textbook you've written, or you collected, data about some crypto project that you want to make available via AI, you can do that. And you can token gate access. You can make sure that people are paying for access to it, all the rest of it. But also, if someone else, steals a copy of your data and puts it up as if it's theirs, then we do actually have mechanisms whereby you can flag that up and make sure that the users know, okay, this version is being sold by someone who doesn't actually own it. I have the real version here.
Got it. Thank you so much. Let me check that. Yeah, we are going to go over several fundamental questions, and then later we're going to start to answer our audience questions, because we are streaming across different platforms. So also receive feedback and comments from audience across platforms as well. And I'm going to screenshot and then later share with our speakers over here. And the following question is that, is KIP protocol a 2C or a 2B business? That how could ordinary people use your product? Thank you.
Oh, good question.
You could take this, Jen.
Do you want to go?
Remember, we just announced, we just made a big announcement just now, the Open Campus one. So that's no longer a secret. So please take this.
Okay. Yeah, well, I can start off, and then I guess you can probably give more details about Open Campus, because you're the expert on that one. But yeah, I was going to say that this is a market that is evolving so fast right now that a lot of the consumers in this area are also producers. So I would say a huge number of the innovative AI models and apps out there are being built by people who tried it out and really liked it and decided to build their own. So there's huge communities on Local Llama, on Reddit, on character.ai, who are people who've trained themselves to do this because they like doing it. And they wanted better apps, or they wanted better models, and they've built it themselves. So right now, there's a big overlap between B2B and B2C. But I would say our primary interest is definitely B2C, but we want to B2B, sorry. But we want to transform consumers into business owners by providing them with the infrastructure that lets them turn what is currently a hobby into something that they can actually make money from. But we also want to, I guess, expand the audience, because there's a lot of people doing this, but on a worldwide scale, it's still pretty niche. So we do want to expand the audience as well by getting these kind of things in front of more people. And for that reason, we are also partnering with, existing established businesses like Open Campus, just to expand the overall ecosystem.
Interesting. Since you mentioned Open Campus, they actually have also been to our AMA sessions over here on Binance Live.
Oh, cool.
Would you like to share us what type of collaborations that both of you do together? Thank you.
Sure. If everyone looks at the Open Campus Twitter, KIP has just been announced as the official AI partner. Okay. So Open Campus, as you know, is a Web3 leading education project and platform. We've signed up a lot of global, heavily credentialed institutions and educational organizations. So what we are doing is essentially working quite closely together, using KIP's infrastructure as well as our expertise in AI monetization to come up with new ways in which it's a very good question. I'll just now B2B, whether we are B2B or B2C. In this case, it's a very clear B2B2C situation, okay, in which we are serving open campus. Open campus serves educators. Educators serve, the students, right? The learners. So in order for there to be more content for students, there needs to be a greater wealth of content created by educators. So AI actually presents some interesting new monetization methods. Okay, that is not just about I would say not just about how many parameters you have. It's about the fact that whether you could, if you put your heart and soul into producing a piece of intellectual labor, whether it's a course, whether it's a paper, whether it's some form of educational material, you can use AI to monetize it. Let me give you an example. Okay, so even back to the reason why I kept this diagram up is that this diagram can explain a lot. Imagine the one in the book, the one represented by the knowledge data and knowledge owners. Imagine that book is a book, and the way of monetization that AI brings about is that there are limited ways previously of monetizing knowledge. The first is, well, I'm very knowledgeable. I write a book. I sell the book. Okay, it's a fixed format type monetization. Second is kind of like subscription. So I'm very knowledgeable. I keep pushing out bits of knowledge. So you pay me a subscription for me to keep sending you, research or newsletters or whatever. It's a stream of knowledge by a subscription model. And the last one is I'm very knowledgeable. You pay me for my time to come and share with you my knowledge. That's teaching or all the coaches. That's them. This is essentially that three ways of monetizing knowledge. But what AI does is AI opens up pay per query as a model. Pay per query, because every single query you push through in an AI app, you are expanding resources. You're expanding GPU resources. So somebody's got to pay for it.
Right.
Okay. Somebody has to pay. Sometimes it's the user paying for it. Sometimes the company itself pays for it because it's subsidizing you, because it wants to grab your data, whatever. But somebody is paying for that question to be answered, right?
Right.
But this actually makes it kind of simple, okay, for us to basically come up with a business model. Why? Sometimes people don't want to pay $100 for a whole book. Sometimes textbooks are expensive. Sometimes research reports are expensive. But maybe I'll pay you $2 for an answer, or $1 for an answer, depending on market forces at play in terms of how valuable your data source is, the data set that you have is. So we work together with Open Campus. We use these principles to basically create frameworks in which the educators can monetize the work that they do using AI, right? This is only the first announcement. This is not one of those just general marketing announcements. There is a product that will be launched. The teaser of the product will be announced at Token 2049 next week. This could be one of the largest scale education education plus AI platform launches. So please look out for that. That will be announced probably by the 21st. Okay, I don't have exact date yet, but we are together essentially to work very closely together, not just as a buzzword, not just put AI onto everything. It's very easy and to add AI into everything. It's harder to make sure that we can use AI to make money, which is our intention. Thank you.
Interesting. Using AI to make more money, is that for content creators or is that for everyone? And do you mind to reveal a bit of how easy is it for ordinary people like me? Like, I am definitely not a tech person, right? How easy is that for us to use it and then to earn money? That's the goal, right? Thank you.
It's short answer. It's very easy for you to do it. In fact, before we pushed out the full-fledged Web3 KIP protocol, we actually pushed out a Web 2.5 platform last year, and it was called Kiply. It's also online. It's also a live site with live clients. So Kiply.ai was a Web 2.5 platform that makes it very easy for you to create AI assets, right? And KIP protocol is the underlying layer that after you create an AI web asset in Web 2, you can very quickly move it to Web 3. We actually we developed KIP in stages to get to a fully decentralized stage. So it's very easy, but so whether you can make money depends on two things. One is, is there competition for whatever I'll give an example. So Moonlight, you probably have a lot of fans, and because of the nature of this setup, I can't hear the fans screaming. Okay, I hear them screaming your name. But if you have a lot of fans, okay, then essentially the nature, an idea that has, again, we are not the ones who invent it, but your digital twin, right? Maybe your fans want to talk to you. Maybe they think you are very knowledgeable about a particular topic. Maybe about Ultiverse. Who knows, right?
Right.
Maybe you don't have to be the one who replies every single question. Yes, I don't want to I want to make it seem like it's a customer service chatbot, but more it's like you are essentially imbuing a set of a digital asset that you are creating, okay, linking, and in this case it will be this asset here. You are linking it to a model, hopefully an open source model, such that you can do certain things for you. It's a digital twin. It is your digital twin. That's the easiest way. Okay. Obviously, if you have written stuff before, it can fulfill the purpose of here. In fact, we obviously go after industries where there tends to be a great deal of proprietary data and knowledge, or data and knowledge that are protected or weakly protected by intellectual property laws. That obviously is a natural place. But I'm gonna stray into now Jennifer's one of her pet topics. One of the biggest use of AI chatbots now are in AI boyfriend and girlfriends. Okay, Jennifer is giggling like a schoolgirl.
My favorite topic. Yeah.
AI girlfriend. Well, actually, guess what?
Actually, it's AI boyfriend. This is an interesting stat. I'll let Jennifer take over. AI boyfriends are more popular than AI girlfriends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, girls are way more into this. And the weird thing is they're discovering prompt tuning techniques that researchers didn't know about. I think one of the most recent ones, they discovered the Dan hack for GPT, which is basically a prompt tuning technique where you can get GPT to be a lot naughtier than it usually would. And they've been using that and hooking it up to an AI voice simulator to create a bad boy boyfriend app. And this is just regular kids who are doing this for fun, and you see a lot of it. Sort of some of the most creative applications are made by internet anons. So one of the other sort of big revolutionary AI products that came out over the past year or so was basically an unguardrailed version of GPT that so again it's a GPT that can say naughty things that some guys on Black Hat World had made by I assume by fine-tuning it on some obscure language which no one is ever going to use. But the fact that it's been fine-tuned, it actually it sort of strips off a lot of the human reinforcement learning that teaches GPT how to be nice and civilized and polite, and leaves you with a sort of a bare metal model that will say whatever you want it to say. And it's these sort of creative things that are usually made by one guy who is just playing with it at home. So yeah, I would say that it's definitely possible for anyone to get into this right now.
Got it. Wow. Are you able to share screen to introduce the AI boyfriend to us? We're so curious about it. Oh my.
We might have a very close partnership with an excellent company that does this, because KIP, ultimately we empower application owners and developers to deploy onto Web3. So there is a company, there was one of the very promising and quite leading actually chatbot company with tons of AI boyfriends and girlfriends, and they are going to come into Web3, and KIP will also help them deploy. So we will announce that when it's time to announce that. But it's very interesting. Later after that, Jen can send you the link to that, and you see the highest ranked chatbot there, and the personality of the AI boyfriend is it makes sense. Yeah, I'll just say.
And these chatbots will send you naughty photos of themselves. It's really the AI age has arrived.
Wow, that's so cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, and we will definitely love to learn more about the information. And so I also wanted to let everyone know that actually about I would say a year and a half ago, yeah, Ultiverse also launched our second collection, a second empty collection, and also is an AI girlfriend, and the AI girlfriend's name is Moonlight. Yeah, the team is really interesting, and they create these AI girlfriend that, well, it's actually kind of like a combination of anime and, well, 3D anime, and also with GPT, right? So she would chat, and then another company at around the same time, they launch an audio AI, and they also use my voice to create it. So there's also an audio AI called Moonlight. I was thinking that if we could, just like Julian said, right, combine together, and people could talk to her, right, or type to her, right, so I don't have to I don't do my AMAs. I could just
she's
put my AI over
she's
here,
coming for your job.
to
Yeah,
chat,
yeah.
and I could be like having fun in Florida. Oh my goodness, that would be amazing. Thank you so much
But
for.
just to contribute on that at that one point,
Mhm.
if you don't, this job, what you're doing now, the hosting part, and also this will be one of the last things to be replaced by AI. A lot will be, a lot of questions and answers will be, but
Mhm.
I had a chat with quite a respected VC. But anyway, so we're just talking generally about jobs that will be replaced. But actually, what you do here is you have to, in Chinese is we 控场, right?
Yeah,
You have to kind of figure out this thing.
AI cannot do it.
Kind of hard. It's you got to train the AI to do this. It's I think it's just probably as complicated as training. I don't want to speak. I don't want to say that self-driving cars are easy, but if you
Uh-huh.
think about it, self-driving cars is also about it's all these different variables happening at the same time.
Right.
When the mood is low, you got to bring it up. When the mood is too high, you got to calm it down. But maybe AI can find a pattern, like maybe when the decibels get very high, then therefore the mood is high. But is it
Uh-huh.
positive, negative? But anyway, that was an interesting thing.
It's,
Yeah.
you and the
So you can't
plumbers
go on the
are
beach
gonna
for this.
survive.
Sorry, Jen.
You and the plumbers, you're gonna survive the AI takeover.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
plumbers will take it.
that's good to know, right? Because all of us, right, were at one point really, really afraid that my own job will be replaced by AI. So, well, what should I do? I don't know. So maybe just relax at the beach of Florida if my job was replaced. But anyways, let's go back to the topic, and we have some deeper questions to ask. Since we talk about for creators, right, and to also make money, and do you mind to elaborate on the significance of KIP protocol granting full property rights to owners of AI models or apps and data, and how does this differ from traditional frameworks? Thank you.
In order to answer this question, I need to change your background.
Sure. Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because the tech is exciting. I think our team and Jen obviously have put together some really innovative tech. But what is also interesting in the course of the last year is that unprecedented things are happening in the general market. Okay, and the unprecedented thing is the strengthening of monopolistic powers. Okay, the monopolies are getting stronger. Okay, I mentioned just now, I think briefly, that OpenAI got sued. All the lawsuits is because they got caught, taking data that it didn't belong to, but it didn't care. It's the official position is we have a right to take it, and if you disagree, just sue us. It's fine. We have money. We'll fight. We'll see you in court. But what they also did was basically push out this thing called the copyright shield to encourage everyone to do it. Okay, if you're an OpenAI customer, upload data into their system, and if you get sued for copyright infringement, Big Daddy will pay your bills, your legal bills, if you get sued. Okay, so I've been doing internet startups for quite long. Okay, I've never seen even the biggest company on one side, on the right side, get sued for this activity, and on the left side push out a new system, a new plan, corporate initiative to encourage that thing to other people to do that thing. But why are they doing it? They're doing it because the thirst for data is real and is intense. They need this. They need to keep the data flowing. But in this quest to keep the data flowing, whose data is it, you might ask? It's our data. It's just that we aren't fighting over it because it's very hard to quantify the loss. It's very hard to quantify how much you lost. Like, for example, if Moonlight, you wrote something on the internet, okay, you published it on. I took it, I published it, I changed the name, okay. I pretend I'm you, I keep your face, okay. And I publish it off as my own. You can quantify that loss because I'm using it for the same purpose. But the data that we're losing now is being used to train a very, very large model. And then that large model is being trained on the backs of all of our data, millions of people's data, and then repackaged and sold to us for $20 a month. Okay? How do you quantify that? This is an issue. The issue why I think, or we think, that monopolies have gotten away, these monopolistic behavior has gotten away with it so far is because it's very hard to quantify the loss. The few people who could quantify the loss have already sued, but for the most of us, it's very difficult to do so. So what we need to do is to first lay our hands down as a technology, we are giving the tools to do that. But as a company or as an organization, what we are trying to do is that we need to start from a position of ownership. We need to basically start saying that everything we do that is useful for AI, guess what? I own it. I'm not saying that you can't use it, but you can't take it without asking. And if you use it, we can do business. We can do business together. I can sell it to you. I can rent it to you. All of these assets that I'm showing you now, okay, whether it's my data or whether it's my data or my application, I can sell it to you. I can rent it to you. But you can't just take it because I own it. So the key to stopping it is first to get a sense for us to create tools that makes a lot of little AI assets owned. Because in KIP, an AI asset is represented or wrapped by an ERC3525 token, okay, which is a semi-fungible token. So that token can be owned. It can be owned by you. It can be moved by you. And because we are using the ERC3525 standard and under KIP, it can be fractionalized, which means I can cut out bits and pieces of it. Yeah. So the concept of ownership is fundamental. It's actually the whole reason why we decided to do this whole this KIP in Web3, because we could have done as I mentioned just now, we actually did a platform called KIPly.ai as a forerunner tool, and we could have chosen to purely open source the code, right? But open source doesn't go far enough because open source just means that you are giving it free for the whole world, including the guys who are stealing from you. Why do you want to do that?
No, definitely
right?
not.
If I give out open source code, like, so we need to start with a position of ownership. Everybody using our open source code in Web3 creates assets on their own. This we believe is key to fighting the monopolies, or at least the first step to fighting the monopolies. First telling them that, hey, you know what? This has an owner. This is not free for you to take. Yeah, sorry for the rant, but that's the reason why I changed the background.
I see. Okay, thank you. Yeah, for explaining that. And that is definitely a great answer to that. So, actually, about last month, there is a very popular AI music making tool that actually music editing or something, like you just put some keywords and you could mix or edit music really fast. So anyone could create music in less than 1 minute, right? And that company, when interviewed by Rolling Stone, they refused to reveal where they got their sources of the data, right? And so a lot of musicians were actually questioning, are those might be our own, right, copyrighted data that they are actually using it? We don't know because they never want to reveal. And these kind
We
of
don't know, but we do know. We don't know, but we do know. We actually know.
Yeah, we actually know, but they don't want to let us know the truth. Yeah, so those kind of things would happen more and more often. And well, like in my school, right, our professors also need to try hard to distinguish, okay, whether or not this student using AI to do their homeworks, right, or to finish their exams or assignment, right? So this is kind of like going to be a long-term battle between so many of us. And of course, I admit that our opening music, right, was created by AI because it's convenient and it's so just fast doing things, right? This is why we are so into using AI tools as our everyday to go to, right? Now I would not imagine that one day I would not use any AI tools from ChatGPT, right? To, well, even now we could write emails using AI, right, very quickly and finish that. Or when there's a very long Google meeting, right, or Zoom meeting, there's an AI joining and then help us to analyze everything. So which is actually very convenient. Then let's come back to KIP Portugal. How do you balance the these kind of should we say balance the advancement, right, of technology and also between all those kind of debates, right, between the copyright.
You want me to get this one?
Of course, Jennifer.
It's a tricky one. It's kind of inherently difficult. There's a lot of people that this is going to be extremely bad for. People who are writing intro music and now no longer have a market for writing intro music, for example. Designers, I've heard a lot of designers on sort of Fiverr are having trouble coding tasks. I mean, all my coding is done by GPT and debugged by Copilot at this point. I'm putting myself out of a job right now. But our position is that, even if you want to, you can't wind this back. Suno and GPT and all of the others, they're out of the box right now. So we can't undo them by ignoring them or by refusing to use them or whatever, because everyone else is just going to use them. What we can do is build a world in which it's not just GPT, it's not just Claude or whatever. It will be your own model that you made using data that you bought specifically because you wanted it to do a specific thing. And if people want to use that, they can come in and they can pay you, a couple of dollars and they get access to your model, and everyone's a winner. Everyone has their own custom model, ideally, at some point, rather than just accepting whatever the big corporations choose to give us. Because a lot of the time those models are, they're trained from a specific perspective. And I don't just mean, the Gemini generating Black George Washington a couple of weeks ago. It's stuff like Code Llama, which is actually an open source model. And all props to Zuck for making it open source. But just because it's open source, it doesn't mean that it's unlimited. So it was fine-tuned with guardrails and so on to make it respond in a certain way. And that means that it will refuse to do things that are considered slightly nefarious seeming. And that includes, for example, generating lists of prime numbers, because they're used in cryptography. And if you want a list of prime numbers, maybe you're doing something sketchy with them. So it's not going to give you your list of prime numbers. If you ask it to do anything containing the word access, for example, a lot of the time it's going to refuse to do that because it sounds like you're trying to hack into something, which I am, but I don't want to be refused by a robot. So it's we feel that the best possible future AI is not built by geniuses in an ivory tower somewhere. It's a collaborative effort of all of us. And hopefully in that world there will be a space for people who have the training data that is currently just being taken from them, like the musicians, to work with the AI rather than having to fight against it.
Thank you so much, Jane, for answering the question. And over here, we had, due to our time limit as well, we have one last question over here. Let me pick one that would say, well, let's looking ahead over here, right? What are the key milestones or development that KIP Protocol is focusing on and in the near future, or to further advance its mission and within the Web3 space? Because AI combining Web3, right, is definitely a very, very, very good narrative right now, right? So what are your plans for key protocols, and what are your vision or expectations? Thank you.
I'll take this one. We are commencing on node sales pretty soon. Our company was essentially supported from the very early stages from Animoca. And because actually the company actually grew out of a client project we were doing for Animoca Ventures, actually. So they were our clients first. I guess we did a good enough job. And when the opportunity presented itself, they invested. So we've been building our tech out to such an extent that it is now market ready, so that we can support larger organizations to build in Web3.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be commencing our node sales very soon, possibly in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the nodes are actually relatively critical in decentralizing our network, and it also spreading the reach of the network faster. So everyone do look out for that if you're interested in what KIP is doing. KIP is trying to unlock digital rights, digital property rights within AI. And we want to see a more vibrant, many more vibrant use cases of AI within Web3. And we want these vibrant use cases to hopefully be supported by revenue models, okay? Revenue models such as these, okay? I mean, in a bull market, everyone loves it because, you know, the tokens kind of support everything. But without the ongoing business flows, okay, data flows and revenue flows, okay, this doesn't last. So KIP basically is the underlying layer that hopes to get this up, so that decentralized AI can continue and more people can be involved in decentralized AI. It's not just super brainy people like Jen, okay? Yeah, so our node sales coming up. Please look out for that, I think.
That is great. Thank you so much. And before we wrap up the session, Jennifer, do you have any additional information that you'd like to share with our audience? Thank you.
Normally when I'm asked this, I say we're all going to make it. But yeah, I will also remind about, so we have an NFT drop coming up, which we had a big reveal about that just recently, which you can see on the Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an ongoing Galaxy campaign, and there are, there's competitions and games and stuff to get whitelisted for that as well. So if you follow our Twitter or join the Discord, which you can get a link to the Discord on the Twitter, KIP Protocol, that's the Twitter. Yeah, you can find a way to get in on the whitelist, hopefully.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely. This is a whitelist spot that we would not want it to miss, right? So everyone in the audience, be sure to follow KIP Protocol. And I believe that we already had giveaways for our communities several days ago, or maybe it's ongoing, right? So either one. So friends, be sure to check out our latest giveaway links as well. Yeah, because we usually will post it online for our community members to participate and follow our sponsor, right? Like for example, this case would be KIP Protocol, and then to have a chance to win in the raffle. Once again, thanks on Jennifer and Julian for joining us today. Our replay will be available pretty soon, and actually we are now featuring on the front page of Binance Live. So later I'm going to share the screenshot in our group chat, because everyone, once they go to Binance and they find the live session, they are going to see us featuring over there on the very top of the screen, so which is pretty cool. Thank you, and looking forward to seeing you again pretty soon. I am likely going to connect your project team with other AI project in the Web3 space, if you don't mind, because they are eager to find more partnership, and AI in Web3 is definitely just like I said, a very beautiful melody, a very nice narrative in right now, right? So let's keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thanks for
Thank you
having us.
so much. Bye. I'm going to end our live session over here, and we are going to go to friends. We're going to go to replays. Our replays will be available pretty soon, and very happy to have all of you here. I am going to say bye to friends who are watching us on our YouTube live. Thank you so much. And I'm going to say bye to friends who are watching on our Twitch live. And also thank you everyone watching us through our Twitter live as well. We're going to see you all soon. We're going to do our replays across different platforms as well.